Good evening. Okay, chapter 6, the first week of the internship. On Monday, Eriko spent the morning getting some blood work done. After breakfast, she went to the front desk to complete new patient paperwork as well as sign up for the clinic's private health insurance. The first staff person she met was a functional medicine specialist who asked her lots of questions about her overall health and answered her questions about endometriosis. The second person she met was Shannon's husband, Dr. Anselmo Elmo Cruz, the clinic's senior allergy and asthma doctor. Next, she spent the rest of the morning shadowing Kim and her duties as a community health educator. After lunch at her apartment, a driver from the north, south, east, west studio picked her up. The first stop was the California Department of Motor Vehicles to change her address and update her phone number. The driver informed her that he is also a driving instructor and will give her a refresher course on how to drive as well as train her in defensive driving as they live in the big city. When they got to the studio, he took her to see Jonathan Kaneshiro Mori. He was dressed in his usual attire, Hawaiian shirt, short pants, no socks, and sandals. He explained that he is part Okinawan Hawaiian and part Japanese Hawaiian. He's married to Marina Mori, who was widowed when a drunk driver plowed into her late husband's car. Since she has two small children to raise on her own, he helped her out. A few years later, they got married, and he changed his last name from Kaneshiro to Mori. About a year later, they had their own son, Jonathan Kaneshiro Mori, too. Marina Mori was the criminal law attorney. After their remarriage and he co-founded the studio, she switched gears and changed her focus to business law attorney and helped the studio get started on the right track. Next, he introduced her to Maria Meishing Murphy Shaw. From her physical appearance, Eriko surmised that she might be Eurasian. She was a little bit extra, as well as enthusiastic, charismatic, and full of energy. A stark contrast to the quiet and calm demeanor of Jonathan. Maria immediately realized that Eriko is a Latina. Eriko was stunned, since most people think she's either Chinese, Korean, or Japanese. Maria explained that her mother and maternal grandparents came to this country from Cuba after the Bay of Pigs fiasco. Although she understands why her mother and her parents are Republican, then President Kennedy was a Democrat, she's proud to be a Democrat. Her mother is half Irish and half Chinese, hence her name. Maria said that she will introduce Eriko to other Latin American Asians. Oh, also, I did add page numbers at the bottom of the page, so this would be easier to keep track of how many pages. Plus, you can also see here how many pages are there. Let me scroll down so I can get to the next page, so that way I don't have to keep scrolling while I'm reading. Okay. When Eriko was finally able to get a word in edgewise, she carefully explained that all of her official documents state that she is Asian. It would be an inconvenience for her to try to revise them. Moreover, there were some people who would think that she's trying to take advantage of the system if she changes it. As a result, she carefully asked Maria to respect her request to be considered Asian. Although Maria was confused, she reluctantly respected Eriko's decision. Next, Maria introduced Eriko to the costume department. There, Eriko was measured, went through colors, checked out materials that matches her skin tone and personality. The designer said they would have her try out some outfits as they make them, and they would sell the ones she likes at the Murphy department store. Since Eriko is Latina, they will also make some ponchos as well. Eriko realized that she can't change Maria's mind, so she acquiesced and accepted the offer of ponchos. Eriko spent the rest of the day shadowing between Jonathan and Maria. The driver also spent about an hour assessing Eriko's driving habits and made corrections as necessary. At 5 p.m., he had Eriko drive them back to the apartment. After she thanked him for the ride, he drove back to the studio. On Tuesday and Wednesday, there were more shadowing, more asking questions. On Thursday, she awoke with severe pain and called in sick. Almost immediately, Shannon knocked on her door. Callie, her cat, immediately snuck in and stayed by Eriko's side. After quickly assessing her, she went downstairs to get some acupuncture needles. Once Shannon finished treatment, the backup physical therapist also went to the apartment to give his assessment. After talking with the staff, they agreed to refer her to an imaging center and have her get an MRI scan so they can get a better picture of exactly what's going on. An appointment was made for the following Monday. On Friday morning, Eiko felt a lot better, returned to the internship. They started that morning with a staff meeting to go over the week's appointments and go over any questions that Eiko might have. After Kim gave Eiko her first paycheck, she went to the studio. Um, at the studio, let's see. At the studio, she took their accountant took her to a local bank to open a checking account and a separate Roth IRA account. IRA is in like individual retirement account. Um, Also, she started teaching her about budgeting and financial planning. After shadowing Jonathan and Marie some more, the wardrobe department gave Eriko the first set of clothing, including some ponchos. And Eriko was stunned. They knew exactly what kind of clothes would suit her. After she stepped in the dressing room, she tried them on, returned the ones that weren't exactly her taste, um, um, back to the department. Um, Back to the department. So let's do that. Okay, so let me scroll down. I'll try to keep the scrolling down to a minimum. On Saturday, Theodore and Kim picked Eriko up. Kim immediately said that she likes Eriko's new outfit. Eriko smiled gently. Then they took her to an eye doctor and dentist. They scheduled her to return the following Saturday to pick up a prescription for new glasses. And then she went to her dental appointment. They too scheduled her to return the following Saturday to start dental treatment. By that time, it was lunch, so they went to the local restaurant. That afternoon, they went to a local pharmacy to pick up Eriko's prescription. The lab results concluded that she has a Candida albicans infection, so she went through a round of prescription medicine to clear that up. Pedro said that he'll start her physical therapy regimen after she's cleared from that treatment. She asked about this type of infection. Kim replied that it's a common infection. However, there may be a connection between this type of infection and endometriosis. When Eriko was asked to see the research, Pedro said it might be a bit difficult to read given the statistics section. However, he's more than happy to go over it. With that, they went back to the clinic. After he pulled several journals, he showed her a sample research article, went over it with Eriko. Although the statistics part looked Greek to her, he did more than his best to explain that section. When Eriko asked for more, he gave her the rest of the journals and told her to return them the first thing Monday morning. Since the staff needs them. She nodded and thanked them. After dinner, she went over these articles. She was fascinated not only by how much they already know about endometriosis, but also by how little they know about this condition as well. At this time, she made a mental note to ask for more articles that she could read. When she came across a word she didn't know, she pulled a dictionary from a bookshelf in her apartment, looked the word up. On Sunday, they went to a local Buddhist temple for Sunday service. Eriko made certain to bring the prayer beads with her. After the service, Theodore and Eriko introduced her to some of the Theodore and Kim introduced Eriko. I need to be more specific here. Eriko to some of the friends they made at the temple. Eriko immediately saw them as a surrogate family. Moreover, she couldn't help but to wonder where they were on the homophobia spectrum. So let me scroll down here. Perda noticed that although Eriko was completely focused on the surface, she was lost in thought. At lunch at the restaurant in Japantown, he carefully said, "Penny for your thoughts." Eriko immediately snapped out of it and carefully pulled her thoughts together. She said that she read an article that Western medicine had known about this disease for over 150 years, yet there's still very little information that's already known. Moreover, Western medicine is adamant that surgery is the only way to properly diagnose this condition. Could it be that Western medicine might not be the right way to go about figuring out how this disease works and how to treat it? Yeah. Pedro admitted that he never thought about it that way. With this condition, Western medicine is not perfect. However, like endometriosis, Western medicine is advancing their knowledge and is making significant amount of progress toward understanding and treating this disease. When he saw the look on Eriko's face, he knew that she did not accept his explanation, even though he respected it. When she asked for more journals, he said that he'll provide them to her when they return to the clinic later that day. She nodded. Since she realized that they're not going to make any headway, they just spent the rest of the day at Golden Gate Park. After returning to the clinic, they saw a person peering into the clinic window. When Perda asked, "May I help you?" all of a sudden they burst into tears. After Perda unlocked the front door, Eriko immediately gave them a box of tissues, which they immediately took several. At this time, Eriko and Kim immediately went into shadow mode. They introduced themselves as Chiaki Smith. Chiaki went in for transgender surgery when they got diagnosed with endometriosis. They were so upset that they asked to stop the surgery and get a referral to an endometriosis specialist. After getting surgery a month ago, they're still in pain and don't want to go to a physical therapist who may or may not be sensitive to their situation. Perda carefully told them that they need to go through the proper protocol. After Perda gave them new patient forms and the clinic's business card, he told them to go back to the doctor's office, sign their HIPAA form. They said that they would get that done first thing in the morning. By this time, they calmed down somewhat. At this time, Chiaki apologized. Perda reassured them they have the right to be upset when they spent several years preparing for surgery only to have it cancelled on them. After they took a deep breath, they thanked them and excused themselves. So let me scroll to the next page. Okay. So when Perda relocked the door, Eriko said that since she's an intern at this clinic, people will assume that she will always do the right thing medically. As a result, if she needs surgery, then what does she need to do to make sure that her surgery doesn't get cancelled? Pedar admitted that since he's a physical therapist, he doesn't perform surgery. As a result, he assured her that he would ask around, gather the information she needs. Once she returned the journal article she has already read, Pedar gave her some more literature to read, then they excused themselves. Oh. Um, while she ate dinner, she continued to read literature about endometriosis. After she brushed her teeth and took a long hot bath, she retired. Okay. So I'll spend the next few days coming up with the next chapter. Again, as always, if you have any questions, comments, constructive criticisms, let me know. And I shall see you next time. Take care.